Hello YouTube, it's Chris. Hey, I'm pretty excited today because I finally got my auxiliary camera from Hansshow delivered and I'm going to install it today. It's just a small camera here that fits on your bumper and of your Tesla Model 3, and then what that allows you to do is see the blind spot so you don't have to edge out into traffic. So I'm going to pull the dashboard apart first and just test the camera before I bother fishing it to the license plate on the front of the car. And you guys might remember with this installation that it helps to have these panel tools. Pull this panel off, pull this plastic panel off, and that'll allow you to lift this up. You can watch my other video if you haven't seen that done. But I'm just gonna put the camera down, do both sides, and then flip up the camera. We're not doing anything with the electronics, so I'm not going to bother shutting off the battery or anything like that. Yeah, all we're doing is connecting a camera. So this panel just comes off. You can see the connection points. Get under there, pull that off. With this little one, just stick your finger behind here and just pull that straight out, and it'll pop out of these little mounts. That's easy. Okay, there we go. I've lifted the panel up, and you guys can remember I tried to do a pretty neat job here. I've wound up all the cables coming out of the Hansshow screen into this cable tree, and right here I bundled up the camera connection because at that time I didn't have the connection. So I'm just going to remove this tape and then pull the camera feed out and then connect the camera. All right, so I've got it all exposed here, and you can see that here's the power and ground for the Hansshow driver screen. Here is the digital signal, and then this one here is the auxiliary camera, blue, and I think, yeah, it says AHD on it. And then this one here is the GPS antenna. So I'm just going to connect the camera. I've got the lead here. I'm going to connect it, and just before I run it through the car, I'll just power it up. Okay, so I've got the camera just sitting right here. That'll actually go on the front license plate when I'm done. But let's use the wheel here and go into the system settings and tell the car that we have a camera. So let's go into car settings. And I think, let's see, general. No. Navi, I think it's maybe other. Light mode is set to auto. Front camera is set to off. Let's turn that on. I think that's it. So now let's go back. Go back. Let's see if it did anything. Did it add an icon for camera? I don't see one. So let's restart it. Maybe you have to do that. Reboot, and okay. Okay. So let's see if now there's a, oh, there it is, front video. So let's click that, and there you go. There's the camera. Nice. Let's go out. I wonder if there's any settings. Let's try other again. It just says front camera, that's it. Let's try general, see if there's anything under general that's come up. Car message, no, that looks all normal, doesn't it? So I think we're safe at this time to install the camera anyway. It's supposed to auto come on when you put the car in drive. And it does. There you go. Okay, cool. So now that we know the camera works, it's a bigger job. I have to pull apart the frunk liner and then mount the camera on the license plate. I think the idea is to get the camera as far forward as you can so that you get the best view of your blind spot. And then you have to fish the cable, the feed, for the camera back through into the cabin of the car and up into the Hansshow screen. Okay, so I'm just prepping to take the front liner out. There's 7 bolts, 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one here. So that's all 7. They're 10mm bolt, and they're very easy to come out. I just used a socket set. So I think now I'm just going to work my way around here. I've never actually had this out before, but I've seen guys do it. They just kind of lightly pull this out, and the whole thing should just come out. Oh, I think I have to take this out too, though, because that's going to connect. Yeah, so I'll pop this off as well. Yeah, look at that. Just comes right out. I wonder if I can clean this while I have it out. Yeah, it looks a little dusty. I'll clean that too. Okay, so that should be the whole kit. And I'll do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, I've successfully run a fish tape through the front here, down through it, and I'll show you what I was doing. I was trying to, I wanted to go right in the middle of the license plate, right? I wanted the cable to look very clean and straight up here. There's no way to get through here. The opening's off to the side here. So what I'm gonna have to do is just fish it behind and run it up here and then come straight out. So I'll be able to come straight back with the cable down to the side of this, then it comes out through here and then goes up. So this is where the hole is to feed the cable. Unfortunately, you can't get it here. I thought about trying to go through here, but you really don't want to. This is meant to keep out dirt and you know, everything else. So we want to keep that intact. So I'm going to leave that like that, come up through here. I think we'll be good. Let me get going on that. Okay, so I prepped the license plate by just using some methyl hydrate. And what's going to happen now is I've measured the license plate halfway through, and then I'm just going to stick this right in the center like that. I'm going to try to get it as far, as close as I can forward, and then you can adjust the camera up or down. And there are screws that come with this camera, but I'll put those on later. Right now I'm just going to use the sticky pad that comes with it and make sure it's nice and centered up on the license plate. Okay, so let me get that. I've already pulled the cable through, and then we'll be able to do the rest. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty good. And the cable just goes down there. And I think I can secure that a little bit better, but I'll just leave that loose for right now. But it's not interfering with any of the opening vents. Okay. So both of these ends of this cable are the exact same. So I'm going to plug one into my camera now feed, which is right here, and then run the other one back up here through the firewall and to the camera. Before I do that, I'm just going to test to make sure that that is correct. So I've just temporarily run the cable just outside of the car back to and plugged in here, and now we can just make sure. So when we scroll through, find front camera, turn it on, and there you go. There's my garage door. Cool. So it's working. Okay, so with this, well, we have the shroud off the front. You can see a good look at a Tesla that's been on the road for a year now. You can see there's some little bit of dirt there that maybe I can clean up a bit while I'm under here. But all in all, it looks pretty good. Look, they don't actually paint the car color under here, obviously. They just, that's their primer. But yeah, there's nothing that looks very stressful in here. Everything looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm under here, you can tell it does get dirty. I'm concerned about this connection, obviously, is under here. It might rattle around and also maybe get wet or something. So what I'm going to do is, you could just put some electrical tape, but I actually have some heat shrink. So I'm just going to run this over the connection and heat shrink that on, and that should form an electrical, or sorry, a waterproof connection for it. So let me just do that because I can't do both with one hand. Okay, cool, that worked out. So we've got that nicely connected. So now I can work at running this back through and finding, there's supposed to be a grommet, I believe it's right there. that you can push the wires through. I gotta look around, but I think that's the one anyway. I think, or maybe it's over here. I'm not sure. But that's where the wires got to go through. So let me work on cable management, and then I'll get back to you. So funny enough, while I'm under here, I just noticed that there's this cable that's just sitting here. So that's the kind of stuff that a car, you know, the owner of the car will take time, maybe, and just tie this up, zap it up or something so it doesn't bang around the bottom of the car. But can you imagine? You're going over a bumpy road and it just creates that noise for no reason at all. And anyway, that's weird. I don't know what that does. It looks like maybe it's for a camera like Tesla's going to do that or something in the future. But anyway, isn't that pretty cool? But yeah, just tie it up, right? Okay, so for cable management, I decided to just follow the cable tree that was already here. That's the way Tesla went, so I figured, so I've just marked it as camera here, zap tied it. It doesn't rattle around. It goes up through here, and then the cable tree actually goes down along the bottom there instead of the top. I followed it along. That's where all the cables go, and I've secured it, so there's no way that it can fall into any working parts. So now it comes up through here, and I think I gotta go check now to see which one goes through. It might be over here. It might not be that. That looks like heater hose or something, but might be over here. So let me check on that. Okay, and inside the car, I've taken apart, let's see. I've taken the cover off, and what you'll see here are those two leads coming out. And behind there, that's the rubber plug. So I'm just going to make a small hole below those two wires and stick the cable through, run it up, and then it will run up here, in through here again, and then up into my dash. That's it. Now, the only other thing I might do while I'm here is, here's my GPS, here's the Hansshow driver screen GPS receiver, and this is where everyone's been putting it. I've been doing research online, and some guys have given me feedback saying, hey, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put it right up on the dashboard, flat, you know, with clear view of the sky. So this is wrong because I'm not flat, I'm, you know, perpendicular, and I'm not facing the sky. So I think I don't really want to have it sitting on my dash. I think that looks kind of, you know, aftermarket. But because we have such a cavity under here, I think I can just sit it under here. I might try that. I'm not sure if it'll improve the signal or not, but while I have this all apart, it might be something to do. All right, I've had some success. You can see what I've done. All I did is poked a small hole through that rubber grommet and then ran underneath. So now I have easy access. I think I can come up through here, which will allow me to get up into where I need to go. So let me work on that a bit, and I'll put the trunk, or sorry, the frunk back together. Okay. And with that, we're out of the frunk. We can close him up. Okay, I think we're almost ready here. I think I'm going to move the GPS up into this area and just kind of stick it up like that. I don't think it can possibly get worse signal, and hopefully it's a little bit better because when I put the dashboard flat, it'll be facing through the windshield, so maybe it picks up more satellites. I'll be able to test that because I did a baseline before I moved it. Anyway, and I've also run the camera up here, so he's done. I've just connected him, so I'm just going to test the tape all this stuff back up together again and put the dashboard down, and then we should be able to do a test. Okay, so I think, you know what, it works to move that GPS receiver up into your dashboard. I've never seen that many, it connect to that many satellites, and I'm inside my garage under a roof, so that's amazing. I was getting like 4 or 5 before, so I did take some video. Maybe I'll try to stick it in. Okay, so here is the satellites I'm picking up with my GPS receiver under the panel on the passenger side. So That's our baseline. So as I move the GPS around the car, I'll see if we get better connection. Here's my Navi in my garage. So I'm surprised that it still works when it's behind a panel. It's not level, lying flat. It's on its side vertical. And then we're in my garage, which is under, in a building. But that's way better. So I'm going to say, do what I did. I think it's right about here somewhere. And that seems to be much better. Probably just lying flat. And should even be better when I'm outside. Okay, and then this is this side here all put back together, and you can see the main wiring harness, and then my camera and my GPS. I ran all the slack down, and that allows me to deal with it down here instead of up in the dashboard. Okay, so everything's back together. Let's do the first test. Now, normally when I pull out here, I can't see if there's someone coming down the lane here. So let's see if this helps. So, what can I see there? I still can't see a car, So this is what I'm working on right now, is just centering the camera. You can see, and sorry about the glare, but it's daylight out. The camera's mounted, but you can see that it's off center. Because of the fisheye view of the lens, you have to really work to get that camera square on the front of the car, or else it appears that the right side is lower than the left side. So anyway, I'm going to work a little bit on that. You're talking fractions as you adjust this. So I'm going to work on that. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. So I have the camera mounted, but it's just on the sticky right now. And what I'll do now is just move it left or right to take away that fisheye so that we get it very flat. So I'm parked on a flat surface, and I should be able to read the writing level, which should make the driving experience good. So I'm back in the car, and this is my first day really with the new blind spot camera. And what I want to make clear is that it's not what I thought it was. I thought originally when this camera came out that it was a widespread, like a 180 degree view camera that would allow you to see things coming out of your blind spots from the left and right, so that you didn't have to nose out into traffic and then look both ways. That because the camera is mounted on the front of your car, that it would see things before you did. It doesn't appear to do that. It's actually not that wide. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how wide a view it gets. But what it is good for is like curbs and things that are in front of your car, that when you go forward, it's in your blind spot directly in front of your car. If you've ever been in a parking lot and you've pulled out over a curb by mistake, or if you've banged the front of your car into a short curb or something that you didn't see. Of course, there are sensors on the front of the Model 3 that will give you audible alerts when you're getting close to something, but this is a visual notification. So let me just show you what I think right now. Okay, so for example, here we are, we're ready to go. I'll put my foot on the brake, shift into drive, and oh, look at that. Someone has put a skateboard in front of my car, so I can't go forward. Now, I would not see that normally, but with the camera, I would see that. Now, let's just see if I start to move forward. The car is giving me some notifications that I should not maybe move forward. Yeah, there you go. So that's something you would hit normally, right? So I think the camera is really good for that use. Okay, I believe there's also a feature that as you approach something, so the camera comes on automatically when you shift the car into drive, but I think there's also a feature that if you get really close to something, the camera should switch on. So I'm in drive, the camera did come on, and now it's gone off after a few seconds. I'm going to start to drive forward now and see if it automatically comes on to alert me that I'm going to drive into my garage door. Okay, so we're in drive. I'm going to take my foot off the brake. I'm going to edge forward. It says I've got 63 centimeters to that garage door. Oh, it did. So there you go. Right at about 58, it came on. Let's go forward again. And there it did. It came on again at 31. So the camera seems to be sensing and alerting me. I'm 31 centimeters away from my garage door, and the camera is coming on to alert me. And there you go. It came on again, and Tesla's saying, hey, stop before you hit that garage door. So that's cool. So is this something for everyone? Is this a must-have or a nice-to-have? I think really it's a nice-to-have. Of course, if you've already made the investment into the Hansshow driving screen, why not? For an extra $100, you get this functionality. Would you put this in only for this feature? I don't think so, because like I say, the Tesla Model 3 already has parking sensors built into the front bumper to start with. What I had hoped, and maybe they can do this through software, I used to have a Chevrolet Bolt that had a rear camera very similar to this one, except it looked left and right. And if you were backing out of a parking spot and it sensed someone walking by, left or right, or a car coming, it would flash red on the left or right side of the camera and let you know something's coming that way, so you'd stop. I would like that for this front camera. If I pulled out into traffic and my vision was blocked this way that I couldn't see, that it would flash red left or right and let me know something's coming. I think that would be great. Okay, so what does the blind spot camera do for the Hansshow driver screen? It's showing you your blind spot out of your view directly in front of the car. So it automatically comes on when you switch the car into drive. So if one of your children has left their bike or a toy or something in front of your car and you go to pull forward without seeing it, the car is going to visually alert you that there's something there. So what does this camera not do? Well, it doesn't give you that widespread view like you would get on a GoPro, so that you see things come out of your left or right vision, your peripheral vision. And it doesn't give you any alerts that something's coming that way. The spread is definitely in front of the car. Also, what the camera doesn't do is it doesn't work with any of the existing Tesla cameras. This is a unique experience with the Hansshow driver screen. It doesn't work with any of the built-in cameras on the Tesla. It doesn't give you any sort of bird's eye parking assist view. Wouldn't that be cool? That's another feature that the Tesla doesn't have. And again, this stuff is pretty early. So if Hansshow can work on software and user interface and add some of this functionality, I don't know that if the built-in Tesla cameras are available via the onboard diagnostics port that you're using to hook up to the Hansshow screen, but if they are, and you can leverage those cameras, can you mesh them all together and build a parking assist, bird's eye parking assist? That would be cool. Can you add filters so that when that it'll flash red when you get too close to something, or if it sees something coming out of its left, or like someone on their bike, would it that's passing in front of your car, could it show a flashing red signal? Something like that I think would be great. But for right now, pretty basic use. It is useful. I haven't tried the driving at night to see for distance. Night driving, that's something I can follow up on. Hey, so anyway, the next video I want to do with this Hansshow screen is show you Android Auto, because I got it working. I just have to figure out a way to film it with, because it's screen sharing from your phone. I can't film off my phone. I have to film with something else, so I have to find another device. But yeah, they're adding features and functionality to the driver screen at a pretty rapid pace, and I think it's pretty powerful. So do I like having this screen? Yes. Are there any negatives to having the screen? Well, people in hot climates are saying, hey, I like to have AC blasting directly onto my face. This screen probably blocks that in some way. I mean, I haven't noticed that yet, but I'll fill you in if I experiencing that as the summer comes on in Vancouver here. And that's about it. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope that helps. If you have questions about the Hansshow screen, let me know. If you want to get your own, use my discount. That'll knock some money off, hopefully. And yeah, until next time, talk to you later.